difficulties. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. Nobody has any questions about this one? And I'm gonna move on. And if you would like me to do it any other way, please let me know. Okay. All right. We can hear good on Facebook. We're good on TikTok. We are all right. All right. Okay, so 0.5 grams equals how many milligrams? So we know we're looking for milligrams, okay? So we can do a direct conversion from milligrams to grams. So I'm going to show you how to do it the dimensional analysis way. And I'm going to show you how to do it with like a little word trick or a mnemonic, okay? So milligrams to grams. Because we're going to want our milligrams, okay? And we're going to cross our grams out. So 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams, okay? Then we have 0.5 grams that we were given to convert. So we're going to cross our grams out, and you're left with milligrams on the top, because that's what we're looking for. And so 1,000 times 0.5, it's going to be 500 milligrams. Alrighty. So if you are in class and your teacher has told you, oh, you can just move it 3 decimal spaces, and you're like, okay, which way do I move and how do I know? So you can do a little word trick. So a gram is going to be a larger unit than a milligram. So you're going from might to slight, 3 decimal spaces to the right. So you see you have 0.5, you'll move it 3 decimal spaces to the right. So 1, 2, 3. Add your zeros, and you see that's where your new decimal place is. And we know this is a trailing 0, which is a no. And that would get you points docked off, okay? So that's how you will also find how to move your decimal. So if you were going from milligrams to grams, you're going from little to large left. So if you have 500 milligrams, let me write this bigger, 500, you see your decimal is right here. You would go 3 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3. And you see that that is your new number with your decimal space, okay? So just some things to help you kind of get through, okay? Alrighty. So, ins and outs. A patient that has had a transurethral resection of the prostate, which is also known as a TURP, is receiving continuous bladder irrigation. During your 12-hour shift, the patient's Foley collects 5,320 milliliters. The patient received 2,500 milliliters of bladder irrigation. What is the patient's urinary output for your 12-hour shift? So how are we supposed to figure this out, Nursey? Well, we're going to take our CBI, which is your bladder irrigation, and you're going to subtract it from what you got in the bag, and that's going to tell you how much urine. Because a CBI is basically just irrigating the bladder so that the clots will not clot off and basically plug up the penis after you've done this surgery. So you would take 5,320 minus 2,500, and that's going to give you how many mLs the patient actually had of urine. So that's going to be 2,820 milliliters of urine. Okay. Okay, so this is a more complicated one. So in your ins and outs, when you're doing these, make sure that when you're calculating what's going in, it's what's going in and what's at room temperature that is a liquid, okay? And then for your output, that's anything that's coming out of the body. Wound vac, sputum, diarrhea, anything in a colostomy bag, anything in a Foley bag, anything that's in a drain, like a JP drain or a chest tube. All of that is considered output because it's going out. So let's calculate our input. The input for our patient for a 12-hour shift from 7P to 7A. I must have wrote this one because that's my shift. All right. So Jevity tube feeding, 50 milliliters an hour. So you see it's going from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. So how many hours is that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 10 hours, right? So you would multiply that times 10. Ooh, what is going on with my Apple Pencil? 10 hours. So that's going to be what, 500 mLs? Okay. And then 50 milliliters of free water flush. So that's 50. And then from 9 to 2:15, you give 2 infusions of red blood cells. So that's going to be 500 milliliters. Okay, because it said 250 mLs of red blood cells. Then you gave a flush to probably clear out that blood. Then Zosyn was given, so that's 50. And then you flushed it at 4 o'clock as well. And then it says you have continuous fluids, so that means that there's fluids that's continuously going. Which is heparin at 10 milliliters an hour and normal saline at 100 milliliters an hour. So from 7 to 7, so that's 12 hours. So 10 times 12 hours, 120 mLs and for your heparin drip, and then 12 hours at 100 milliliters an hour right here is going to be 1,200 milliliters. So all these values you add together for your output, okay? I mean your input. I'm sorry. I misspoke. 500 plus 50 plus 500 more. And 20 and 50 and 10 and 120 and then 1,200. It's going to be for your input, okay? Then for your output is everything that's coming out of the body. So 300 mLs from your ileostomy. So that's out. And NG suction 50 milliliters, urine 1850, and a wound vac is 100. So 30 plus 50 plus 1850 plus 100. So that's going to be 2030 for your output. Alright, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just pay attention to your times that it's giving you for your shift, and how, if it's saying continuous, or if it's one time, or if it's like 2, where it said right here 2 infusions, so they got 2 units of blood, so that'll be 500. So you have to pay attention to the minor details in the input output, or you can get them wrong, okay? Right. That's another one, but I think we kind of got the picture on that. Alrighty, so a dose of 4,500 milligrams of medicine has been ordered for a patient. The medication comes in 5 grams per 0.3 mLs. What volume will you give the patient? Alright, so I've been asked to do desired over half tonight and dimensional analysis tonight. So I'm going to start off with dimensional analysis, okay? Okay, so we have ordered this much. Well, if it'll let me write on it. Yeah, this much. What we have on hand is this. And we are looking for volume. So we are looking for how many milliliters we are giving to our patient. So with dimensional analysis, I told you I like to start off with what it is that I'm looking for. So I'm going to put my milliliters on the top, okay? So where our milliliters come from, right here on our available supply, okay? So 0.3 mLs over 5 grams, all right? So now we have grams at the bottom, so we need to have grams at the top to cross out. But lo and behold, look at what we're ordered. We're ordered milligrams. So you can't put milligrams on top of grams and expect it to cross out. It's got to be the same units, right? Right. So we're going to have to insert a conversion. So we're going to put grams and milligrams on the bottom. So 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. So now our grams can cross out, okay? So next, we have our milligrams at the bottom. We want those to cross out because we're looking for milliliters. We want everything else to cross out except for milliliters because that's what we're looking for, right? Right. Okay, so I told y'all I feel like Dora when you asking like the TV a question. Do you see the blue umbrella? Okay, but anywho, all right, back to being serious. 4,500 milligrams. That's where our ordered dose comes from. So milligrams cross out, and that's it. We don't have anything else that we can add to this problem. Our units have crossed out, and we're left with milliliters. See? Okay? So now you can multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and then divide. 0.3 times 4,500 divided by 5 divided by 1,000. So that's going to be 0.27 mLs. And if your program requires you to round to the tens place, because it is 0.27, 7 is greater than 5, so this number 2 is going to be bumped up to 0.3 mLs. So now we will do desired over half. So with desired over half, you have to have the same units. You can't have grams ordered and then the medicine is in milligrams or vice versa. Everything has to be the same. So because your medicine is in grams, it will be easier to convert your ordered dose to grams as well. So remember what I said, slight, might to slight right and little to large left. You can do that. Or you can set it up where you multiply by 1,000 or divide by 1,000. So I'm going to say going from a milligram to a gram, you're going from little to large. So we're going 3 decimal spaces to the left. So this is my decimal space. I'm going 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 4.5 grams, okay? And I can set it up in my dimensional analysis problem now, okay? 4.5 is what we desire, and we have 5 times 0.3 milliliters. So if you do the math, 4.5 times 0.3 divided by 5 is the same thing, 0.27. Or if you can round 0.3 mLs. Okay? If this is helping you so far, would you please like and send it into the TikTok and social media algorithm so that other nursing students can pick up on this and join us? If you have questions or requests for different types of problems, put them down in the chat. Continuing on. Alrighty. So a patient weighs 45 kilograms and is prescribed a medication for 3 milligrams per kilogram per dose. The stock strength is 2 milligrams per 0.5 mLs. What volume will you give to the patient? Okay, so when we have problems like this, that has a lot of words in it, a lot of people kind of get lost in the problem, lost in the sauce. So therefore, I say use PPP, patient, prescription, product. I wasn't talking about the loan that some folks got during COVID. All right, so patient is going to be the weight. Prescription is your order. And product is your med. Okay? So our patient weighs 45 kilograms. Our prescription is 3 milligram per kg per dose. And our product is 2 milligrams per 0.5 milliliters. Okay? So we are looking for volume. So that's going to be milliliters will you give to the patient. So we're looking for mLs. I'm going to start with mLs on the top. So that's going to be my last P, right? So 0.5 milliliters over 2 milligrams. Now I'll go to my middle P, which is my order. And it's in milligrams, so we don't need to put a conversion. So 3 milligrams per kg per dose. Okay, we see our milligrams crossed out. Now we have our last P, which is the weight. And it's already given to us in kilograms, so you don't need a conversion. You can just put your kilograms right there. 45 kgs. And your kgs crossed out, and you're left with milliliters per dose. So now you can solve your problem. 0.5 times 3 times 45 divided by 2. That's going to be 33.75 milliliters. Okay? So, if we round this, it'll be 33.8 mLs. If you did not want to do this in a dimensional analysis form and you wanted to use desired over half or ratio and proportion, you would of course need to take steps before you can put your milligram dose into ratio and proportion or desired over half. So you would take your weight and multiply it times your prescribed amount. So 45 kilograms times 3 milligrams. It's going to give you how many milligrams in a dose. Okay, so 45 times 3 is 135 milligrams per dose. So now you can go to your dimensional analysis, desired over half, and put this number as your desired and use what you have. So 135 milligrams over 2 milligrams per 0.5 mLs. So 135 times 0.5 divided by 2. and it's going to still give you 33.75, 33.8 milliliters. Okay, some IV stuff. Yay! So the client's IV is infusing at 15 milliliters per hour. The medication infusing is 50,000 units of heparin and 500 milliliters of normal saline. How many units per hour are infusing? Okay, so we have our rate, which is 15 milliliters per hour. Our medicine is 50,000 units in 500 mLs, and we are looking for units per hour. Okay, so we want units to be at the top and hours to be at the bottom. Okay, so we'll start with our units. 50,000 units over 500 milliliters. I got that from the medicine that was given to us. All right, so now we have milliliters at the bottom. So what do we need at the top? Milliliters. We want the milliliters to cross out. So 15, so we'll go here, 15 milliliters an hour. Okay, so what are we left with? If we cross out our units over hour, ain't that what, that's what it's asking for? So that was an easy setup. So we'll multiply 50,000 times 15 divided by 500. That'll be 1,500 units per hour. Is this making sense how we're doing dimensional analysis to people who were kind of iffy on it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's kind of quiet. Let me see. So let's see here. If you wanted to set it up like in ratio and proportion, you could do 50,000 units over 500 mLs, and then 15 mLs over X, because you have your units on the top and your milliliters on the bottom. So as long as you have the same unit of measure on each side, because it's an equal sign, the equal sign means equal, then you're good. So we'll cross multiply. So 500x equals whatever 50,000 times 15 is. Big number, big number. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you have that. Then you would divide both sides, because it's an equal sign. What you do to one side, you do to the other. and we want to isolate X. So cross out your 500. So X is going to be 750,000 divided by 500, which is the same thing that we got doing dimensional analysis. So the benefit to knowing more than one way of solving a problem is that you can double check your work. So if you say, oh my gosh, like that seems like a really big number, or that seems like a really small number, do it a different way. And if you come up with the same thing twice, then I mean, that's it. Alright. So let's see, at the change of shift, you notice 200 mLs left to continue the IV bag. The IV is infusing at 80 milliliters per hour. How much longer will the IV run? Express your answer in hours and minutes. Okay, so we're looking for time. So hours and minutes, okay? So we have 200, and it's going at 80 milliliters per hour. And we're going to look for hours, okay? So, I'm going to put my hours on the top because that's what we're starting off with and what we're looking for, okay? So, 1 hour, 80 milliliters. So, that came from right there, okay? So, next we have milliliters on the bottom. So, we'll need milliliters at the top to cross out. So, 200 milliliters. And that's going to cross out and leave us with hours. So 200 divided by 80 is 2.5 hours. So this is hours. It says to answer in hours and minutes. So this is the hour part. This is the minute part. Okay? So, in order to find how many minutes, you will take this part right here, so 0.5, and multiply it times 60 minutes. Okay? And that's going to be 30, because 0.5, which is half of 60, is going to be 30. So, it takes 2 hours and 30 minutes to complete the rest of the bag. How you feel about that one? Okay. Yeah, I'm hot. I just thought about it. Okay. Order. Drug C, 15 milligrams per kilogram per day by mouth in 2 divided doses. Child weighs 33 pounds. Available is 125 milligrams per 5 mLs. How many milliliters will be administered per day, and how many milliliters will be administered per dose? So this is a 2-part question. I need to slow down. Okay, so we know we're looking for what? PPP. So patient is what? 33 pounds. The prescription is 15 milligrams per kg per day in 2 divided doses. Okay, and then our product, which is your drugs, is available in 125 milligrams per 5 milliliters. And so we want to know how much they're going to get mLs per day and how many mLs per dose. So we got to do two different problems, okay? So let's do the first part on how many milliliters per day. So if you look at the order, this will tell you that it's 15 milligrams per kilogram per day, okay? And then it goes on to say that you have to divide that amount into 2 doses. So the first part will use the weight and the prescription, okay? All right. And of course the medicine. So 5 mLs over 125 milligrams, okay? Next, go to your order. We got milligrams on the bottom, so we'll have milligrams on the top. 15 milligrams per kilogram per day, okay? Cross your milligrams out. So our patient's weight is in pounds. You can't put kilograms in pounds. You got to have a conversion factor. So we'll put 1 kg, 2.2 pounds, okay? So our kilograms cross out. So now we can put our patient's weight. And that's going to cross out as well, okay? So everything has crossed out except for milliliters per day, okay? So that's how we get our first part of the problem solved. So 5 times 15 times 33 divide 125 divide 2.2. So that's going to be 9 milliliters per day. Now, you could just divide this by 2 and say, okay, so they're going to get 4.5 milliliters per dose because it's in 2 divided doses. But if you wanted to see how to do it by dimensional analysis, you would set the problem up the same way. So 5 milliliters over 125 milligrams times 15 milligrams over kg per day. Your 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Then 33. Uh-oh, I didn't write my L. Slow down. Almost hit a lady. Slow down, baby. Do. All right, so crossing out. Okay, so we want to know about the doses, right? Per dose. So in 1 day, there are 2 doses. So you see day crossed out, and you got milliliter over dose. Y'all see what we did there? And how you have to pay attention to what the order says. And when it says every 8 hours or TID, QID, Q6, Q4. So that part matters. But it matters in what the question is asking you. Okay? So you do it the same way with the multiplying of the top and the bottom. And divide. So 5 times 15 times 33 divided by 125 divided by 2.2 divided by 2. So that's going to be 4.5 milliliters per dose. Nola, darling, are you still here? And do you still need me to do desired over half? Victory is mine. Whew, it's hot. Okay. I can't stand waiting, looking at the screen. I told you I feel like Dora the Explorer when you asking TV Land a question. Do you see the fox? Alright, so next. Do y'all have any questions that y'all, like types of questions that y'all want to go over tonight. You know, I just kind of put something together, you know, that everybody's doing. But I know some people express that they have tests and quizzes coming up. So, you know, if you got a certain type, just put it in the chat, in the comments. And now I'll see what I can do. All right. Safe dosage. Okay. 500 mLs of milligrams per minute, milligrams per hour. I think I do. Okay. 500 mLs of normal saline. I'm going to do this one, then I'm going to look. Okay. Of normal saline to infuse over 3.5 hours. So available is 500 mLs, normal saline bag with tubing with a drip factor of 10 drops per minute, basically. Drops per milliliter. The nurse will set the pump at how many milliliters per hour. So, this gave you some confusing information, right? So, we know that if you have a drop factor, that means you're going to give it by gravity. But then it says the pump. And we know that the pump is always going to be milliliter per hour. So, don't let this number, this normal saline number, confuse you. We just need milliliters and hours. So, you would simply put 500 milliliters over 3.5 hours and divide. You don't have to cross nothing out. You don't have to put any conversion factors. None of that. So 500 divided by 3.5. 142.85. So that's going to be 143 milliliters per hour. All right. Let me see what I got. So how's the semester going for you while I'm looking for these questions? Y'all doing okay? I just need to check in to see, you all right? Are you all right? Sometimes you just need to check on folks and see, are you all right? Okay, good. Let's see. Dopamine. I'm good. I'm busy, but I'm good. You know, I can't really complain. I cannot. COVID had me by my throat a little week ago, a week or two, 3 weeks, however long it was. But hey, we're better. We're better. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Go to the back, We said safe dose in like milligrams per hour, milligrams per minute. I'm doing great in area, but dosage calculations. Well, okay. We're gonna get it. Let's see. Safe dosage. Nope, that's a video. And that's the crazy thing. I was looking at milligrams per minute in units and all that, but for your critical drips, I was like, no, that's going to be too much. I should have just went on ahead and put it on there anyway. God dog it. Let's see here. Beyond late. Good evening. Good evening. Glad you made it. All right. Let's see. so here's a safe dose. Okay, whatever. Alright, so Keflex 250 milligrams by mouth every 6 hours. Supplied. Keflex 0.5 grams per 15 mLs. Weight of the patient is 66. Safe dose range is 25 to 50 milligram per kilogram per day in 4 divided doses. What is the child's weight in kilograms? What's the safe dose? And if it's safe, then calculate the amount to give. All right. So boom. Okay. Patient is 66 pounds. And the order is for 250 milligrams Q6, and the product is 0.5 grams per 15 mLs. Alrighty, and our safe dose range is this in 4 divided doses. So what is the child's weight in kilograms? So we know that per 1 kilogram of weight, it is 2.2 pounds. So 66 divided by 2.2. It's gonna be what? 32? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna quit trying to use my head and use the calculator. 66.2. Okay, yep, 30. Alrighty. So now, what is the safe dose range? So we will use this problem right here to figure it out. So 25 milligrams per kg per day. Okay. We got our 30 kilograms of weight. So our kilograms cross out, and you see that it says 4 divided doses. So in 1 day, you give 4 doses. Okay, so days cross out, and you got how many milligrams per dose? So let's see, 25 times 30 divided by 4. So that's 187.5 milligrams per dose. And that's your lower limit. So you know a range is you got a lower limit and then you've got an upper limit. It's in my bio, Miss Glenda. Yeah, it's in my bio. 50 milligrams. I don't know why I do that. It sounds like I'm falling down the stairs. Okay, all right, I'm back. Kgs per day. All right, so we got kilograms on the bottom, so we can put our kilograms on on the top. Alrighty, so 30 kilograms, and then same as above, 1 day, and you have 4 doses in that 1 day that you can give. Alright, so 50 times 30 divided by 4. It's going to be 375 milligrams per dose. Okay, so this is 1 dose right here, because it says to give 250 milligrams 4 times a day, so every 6 hours. Okay, is this dose safe to give? Is it safe to give the medicine to our patient? To our patient? Is it safe to give the medicine? to our patient. Yep. Okay, so I don't like this. Hold on. What is this doing? Alright. So it is safe. Yes. Sure. I'm gonna erase this on the side so we can talk. We're gonna keep these numbers right here, but we're gonna make something make sense, because I do, you know what, Wix is tripping. So I don't know, like I do. We'll talk. Send me a contact through there, and we'll get it set up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at my website when I get off, because I don't know. Go on the services page, and it should show the classes and the slots. Okay, so all right, back to my coworkers have semi-diagnosed me with ADHD, and I think they might be right. At the ripe age of 35. But okay, anywho, this number and this number is a range, okay? So from 187.5 to 375 milligrams is your safe zone. So anything starting at this number and going up to this number is considered safe. If you give an amount that is less than 187.5 milligrams, it's going to be subtherapeutic. That means it ain't going to do jack for the patient. It's not going to work. It's not enough. So it's not safe. If you give more than 375 milligrams, that's going to be toxic. Okay, so it's going to be too much. That's an overdose. So then that's not safe. So when you have a range, that means you have a lower limit and an upper limit. So this is just telling you what your safe zone is. So you have to use that to find what your safe zone is. So we found our safe zone, okay? So then when you go to your order from the doctor, it says that the doctor, he or she or they, have ordered 250 milligrams by mouth every 6 hours. So that means every 6 hours, they want you to give one dose of 250 milligrams. 250 milligrams falls in this safe zone. So yes, it is safe to give. Do you understand now what makes a medicine safe and what makes it not safe? You're welcome. I say I can't stand staring at the camera. Blink, 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 blink. Yes, I got confused with the little doses, but I got okay. All right. I feel like when you know what it is that you're looking for, and like it's just not numbers, like it makes sense, and you can figure out what it is that you're doing, because you're not doing this just for your health. You know, you need this, especially if you're working with pediatric patients, because it's real easy to give a little kid or a little baby too much. Okay, so all right. What else we said? What else y'all want tonight? What else do you want? What else y'all want? Y'all want some drop factor? Drip, drop, drip, 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 drop. Yeah, okay. All right, so So infuse on 1,750 mLs over 9 hours. The drop factor is 20 drops per milliliter. Determine the rate in drops per minute. So remember, we said that we can give an IV two ways. You can give it in a pump, or you can give it via gravity. So this is going to be via gravity, because you see this big huge hint right here. It says drop factor. So if it said pump, we know that it's going to be milliliters per hour. Because it has a drop factor and it's going to go via gravity, we're doing drops per minute. This is what we are looking for. So drops per minute. Let's do it. All right, so I want my drops on the top, so I'm going to start with my drops. So my drop factor is 20 drops per milliliter. Okay, now we go to our milliliters over hour. So 1,750 milliliters over 9 hours. So that's going to cross out. So now we have drops per hour. We need drops per minute. So we have to put in this last step, which is your conversion. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So now we're left with drops on top and minutes on the bottom. So 20 times 1750 divided by 9 divided by 60. So that's going to be 64.81 drops per minute. But you cannot give 0.81 of a drop. You either got a drop or you don't got a drop. So you're going to have to round up, right? So what are we going to round this up to? Yup. 65 drops over minutes. You got it, hospice nurse Sandy. Okay, one more. You're welcome. 75 mLs per hour. Drop factor is 60 drops per milliliter. Determine the rate in drops per minute. So we're going to do it the same way. Same OG. Okay? So we are looking for drops per minute. So we'll start with our drop factor, which is 60 drops per milliliter. 75 milliliters per 1 hour. 1 hour over 60 minutes. Milliliter gone. Hour gone. We're left with drops per minute. So I got 60. Yep. Is that what you got? I can only be me. Emoji. Alrighty. All right. Let's see. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock some people's time. It's 9:10 my time. Let's see what I got. Any more requests? I feel like a DJ. Go Blazers. I need a refill. Carlene. Hi. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the compliments and the constructive criticism, the feedback. I appreciate y'all. If nobody else has anything that they want done tonight, we do nurse chat. So, and then I can go to bed. Any questions about nursing school, nursing, med-surg, travel nursing, studying, anything? I am an open book here for your reference. Do y'all have any requests for Sunday night? Might try to get me a good day in so I can get some videos out. I used to do Daily Dose, and it was just like, whew. What do you think are the best paying nursing jobs? As far as specialty, okay, so of course travel nursing. That was just it. But the rates are kind of going down. Across the board, okay, so some specialties kind of pay more than others. In some states, it just depends on where it is that you're at. Because I think like maybe ICU and PACU and stuff, they might get a little different rate. If you're in those specialties. I am myself am a med-surg nurse, and I work PRN, and I am a float nurse. So I float from different hospitals within the hospital system. So therefore, that is more money as well. You're in Miami, Florida. I heard that Florida pays in sunshine. No shade, no pun intended, and all of that. But yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Hopefully it's not true. But yeah, we just have to look at like full-time versus part-time versus PRN versus the hospital systems versus home health might be a good deal for you, because like the South pays lower than like any other part of the nation. Of course, California is like the mecca of nursing, because you have the laws in place for like the ratios and the breaks, and the rates are just superb. So it just depends. But there's really not a difference within a couple of like just the regular specialties. But what your difference is gonna come in at is your status. Like I said, full-time versus part-time versus PRN versus float, and going, so forth and so on. So when you're a new grad, you just want to kind of go in and get your footing. And then, I know you fresh out of school, you don't paid all your tuition and books and lab fees and gas and going back and forth. And yeah, so you might be tempted with these bonuses, but be careful. Miss Sheila, if I can get the pediatric dose down pack, I will be good. Well, with pediatric dosing, you just have to find your elements that you need to solve the problem. So the weight of the patient, you have to look at that prescription that you have, which is like the 80 milligrams per kilogram per minute, and then you go from there. Use your dimensional analysis if you're comfortable with it. If not, I showed you how to find the weight, to convert the weight, and then multiply the weight times the milligram in that order. Then you can do your ratio and proportion and your desired over half, and that's it. That's all that's to it. Get your weight, get your milligrams, get how much you're supposed to give to the patient. Hey, Manda Panda. Manda Panda want a free session. Hey, turn up. Can't wait to study with you.
I'm not sure I understand.
Wasn't nobody talking to you. Okay? So, yeah. Make sure we can reach out and we get that session scheduled. Anybody else have anything else they want to talk about tonight? I know this was kind of like, here it is. Here you go. I tried on Sunday night, and then I came home last night too, to see, what else we needed to do. But, my inbox is open, and my email is open. I do offer one-on-one tutoring. I don't know what's going on with this website. I will have to check it out once I get off tonight, because it says that I don't have classes available, which is a lie. It is not the truth. So, yeah. You're welcome, hospice nurse Sandy. And God bless you. Definitely. And thank you for being a hospice nurse. Alright, Miss Sheila, you welcome. You're going to rewatch the live. Cool beans. And let me know if there's anything else, Miss Sheila, that I can help you with. I missed the conversation. What was it about jobs for new grads, and where did I start as an LPN? So yeah, she was asking like which jobs pay the best, and I mentioned that there might be a slight difference in rate in some specialties versus others, but where you're really going to find the rate difference is in your status. Is if you're full-time versus part-time versus like Baylor or PRN, or if you do like me, I float from different hospitals. Like every 12 weeks, I'm at a different hospital, or I can stay at like the same assignment for like 2 12-week periods, but then I have to go like to a different hospital in the same system. It'll just be like in a different city. So it's like a at-home travel assignment, if you will. And I started off as an LPN. I went straight to long-term care because that's what all the LPNs was doing, and that's where the money was for the LPNs, and so that's where I went. And I liked long-term care. I like my little old people. I love them. Oh, I love them. I just don't like pushing that big old med cart down the hall and doing all those wounds and all those blood sugars and popping those pills out of the little bubble packs. That kind of got old. But, I guess that would be a welcome change to sometimes having 6 patients and like you just kind of woo versus your more stable elderly population. But if you do go to the nursing homes, know that it's not just like, okay, I'm going to give people medicine and not monitor them or anything, because you have to have really good assessment skills, because you know that the elderly population, they don't metabolize drugs as fast. Their vital signs are different. When you get a UTI as an elderly in the elderly population, Meemaw becomes the Meemaw from hell. She cusses, she's beating butt and taking names, like she's setting that place on fire, okay? And so they're like, what's wrong with her? And they take some urine, of course, it comes back full of leukocytes and bacteria and all kind of stuff. Yeah, and you get this unfathomable strength, like, where did this come from? So, you know, if you do go to the nursing home, know that, you know, you have to pay attention and know the differences, because you know how, like, in school you study like the babies and the toddlers and children, well, school age, and then pre-adolescent, adolescent, young adult, you know what I'm saying? So you know that there's differences that stand out within your different patient populations. So elderly, of course, they can get toxic real quick with drugs, and then those UTIs are just really bad on them. The falls, it's hard for them to recover from falls. It's really bad for them, especially if they're on blood thinners, or anticoagulants is the more appropriate terms. So yeah, but I loved working there. Yeah. Miss Sheila, your mother-in-law told me about. Oh, she did. Yay. Okay, love her to pieces. I think she told me that she told you about my channel, so I'm glad you came on, and it's nice to meet you virtually. Man dependent, I think it would help me strengthen my assessment. Yeah, you do. It would help you strengthen your assessment. I think a lot of people, like, who are new grads, when they come on, you know, they're so focused on, I gotta be a nurse, like, I gotta be a good nurse, like, I've got to figure out how to chart, I've got to figure out, you know, just figure out how to nurse, and you neglect the part where you still got to pay attention to these people. You know, you still have to have skills in a long-term facility. So, you know, just know you still got a nurse, and you got a nurse good. So yeah. But you don't have to start. Yeah, you're working on AdPi. Okay, AdPi is not never going anywhere, and you can maybe you can apply AdPi to life situations. Assess, diagnose, plan, implement, and evaluate. So, I mean, it's not going anywhere. AdPi for life. AdPi. Oh, I'm gonna be serious one day. One day. Not today. Yeah. I've been trying to sip this air. I ran out of Coke Zero, but it's too late at night to be getting something else to drink. But I'm thirsty. So yeah, you know, but I will say that way back when I was in school, they said, oh, LPNs are going to get phased out, and you'll have to go back for your RN. You know, you're not going to have a job. LPNs are getting hired in the hospitals. I've seen on some posts that LPNs have been working in the ED. So don't think that you're just limited to a long-term care setting as an LPN. I did school nursing as an LPN and rehab. When I was in North Carolina, like, we worked with PIC lines and everything that was in long-term care and rehab. So that was that. And then what else did I do? Oh, I did home health. And I had pediatric patients who were on ventilators. I had tube feed-ins and vest systems where you have to wrap the vest around and just, like, you know how you have like a percussor. This vest would do the chest PT for you, and it would be hooked up to a system of pipes and pressures. And so did that, had a almost whole ICU set up as an LPN in a home setting. So don't think that you're just limited to that. Please don't. Yes, Miss, it sounds like all that I want to work in. Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I was well-rounded in the different settings that I did. And then I was even like, I even did supervisory visits where I drove around the county and went to see different patients and checked up on them who were receiving services. And you know, and that was an extra gig too. So you are not limited. Nursing is what you make of it, okay? And if you want to go back for your RN, that's what you do. If you don't want to go back for your RN, that's what you do. I hate when I see people, I hate it when you guys fight. But no, I hate when I see people online and they're like, RN, LPN, and then you throw CNAs in the match. And I'm like, we all just need to take care of these folks and go home. Because, you know, everybody has a different role. That's why there are different roles and positions. You know, you got your scope for a CNA, you got your scope for LPN, and you got your scope for the RN. RN being the most, you know, I don't want to say, what is it? Is it coordinate, then subordinate? You know how you have like the little workflow chart? But I mean, that's the most supervisory part. So if you want to, you know, supervise and you want to have more responsibilities, you want to be able to do initial assessments and work with IV push and pick lines, so put in pick lines and other things that you can do as an RN, go back for RN. If not, be an LPN, because you know what? LPN and RN both has those ends at the end. You take the end clicks, and then in the end, you're going to get paid. All right? So that's my spiel. Yeah. Any other questions that y'all want to talk about? Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You've been a faithful participant. As I was telling my husband, I'm like, once like people graduate, you know, and they're not going to be on anymore, like, hey, I mean, I'm going to be excited because then you're going to be out in the nursing field, you know, and, you know, might see you on an assignment or whatever, you know, whatever. But, you know, it's cool. It's cool meeting and reaching out to different people in this capacity. And, you know, it's real cool. And I appreciate it. Well, it's 9:30 here in Alabama. And I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to work on some more content. There has been peer pressure for me to develop a workbook. I don't know about that, but I am working on some things to share with you all. And like always, y'all be blessed. And if you have any specific questions for Sunday night that you want me to go over, my inbox is open, my DM is open, my website, you can go on there, you can send me information through there. Yeah, I'm accessible and I'm a person and I type back. So, Lord God, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for this day, this time, this hour, this minute. We thank you for your love, your peace, your grace, and your presence. We just want to lift up all of the people who are searching for answers right now, who are looking for strength and hope, Lord God. We just want to put on the altar of heaven the nursing students who are in the thick of it, God. Let them know that the end is in sight and that they can indeed reach it. We want to strengthen them and we want to lift them up. We want the knowledge that is being given to stick with them, Lord. Increase their confidence, Lord, so that they will be prudent nurses who will be able to take care of your people, and that your people will see you through them. Lord, we just pray for forgiveness, Lord, because at the end of the day, we just want to see your face. If we don't do anything, we don't see your face, then what are we doing it for? We just praise you. We give you love and grace and thanks. And we thank you for your mercy and your love and your grace. And in Jesus' name it is that I pray. Amen. Good night. Y'all do good on your tests. Be encouraged. Be strengthened. We don't say fear here. This is a no fear zone. Quit speaking that over yourself. Y'all gonna get through these programs. We're gonna get through these tests. Remember, delay is not denial. I will see y'all on Sunday night, approximately 7:30 Central Time. And y'all have a good rest of your week. Good night.